Hello everyone and welcome to the 8th episode of Movie Dudes. I'm Phil.
I am Alec.
And today we will be talking about one of my favorite Japanese films, Tampopo. And I just realized that I don't have the Blu-ray on me. Let me just get it. Here. There it is. The Criterion Blu-ray that I got in the last Barnes & Noble sale.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess I'll just make a quick, just say a bit of what the film's about. So this film is about a lady named Tampopo, who is the owner of a ramen shop. But the only issue is that she's not really good at it. And one day she meets a truck driver named Goro, who, he's a truck driver, so he's eaten a lot of ramen in his life, and he knows what a good ramen is. And so basically he tries to teach her how to make a good ramen. And so that's basically what the whole film is about. But what's also really good about the film is that in between, while everything is happening, we have a few almost short films of a bunch of random stories all related to food. And so basically that's what this film is. It's a massive love letter to food. And like I was joking about it yesterday, because Alec sent me a message telling me that he was going to watch the film, and I told him make sure you're not watching it with an empty stomach, or at least if you do, make sure you have some food with you, because you're going to get hungry.
I certainly wasn't hungry because I think I ate a couple hours before that. But
yeah,
it definitely did make me want ramen. I will say that.
Yeah. Dude, I've been craving ramen like crazy.
Before we get too far into it, I do have a couple announcements to make. This has been in the pipeline for a couple weeks now. I've been ironing out the details and figuring out how to make it work, but it finally works. Movie Dudes is now available on Spotify. And eventually I will probably find a way to get it onto Apple Podcasts. The what's the word? The process there is a little more in-depth or just kind of complicated than it was for Spotify. There's also Google Podcasts it might eventually be on. But I didn't know that existed until I was, looking through it. So, you can go right now, and look up Movie Dudes on Spotify, and you might have to scroll through some other podcasts to find it, but you will find it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be a link in the description.
Oh, of course.
So, yeah. Because without that, you're going to be lost in just a bunch of random podcasts.
Yeah, which I also learned this, by the way. There's a podcast called Those Movie Dudes. So I'm not saying that we're in a rivalry, but we might be.
Yeah.
So watch out, Those Movie Dudes. I'm kidding. But I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
The other announcement I guess I have to make is you might notice that the backdrop is different and that my voice is a little echoey. Maybe it won't come off like that. I hope not. But I'm actually in a different room recording this because there was a bit of water damage in my ceiling in my bedroom, and it exploded the other day. It didn't damage anything, but it isn't a good idea to have technology in there right now, obviously. So I will be in, this is my apartment's dining room. I will be in here for, I guess, until further notice. So that's really all I gotta say.
All right,
Phil, you can put up the picture if you want to. I give you my permission to put up.
Yeah. I was like, back on Friday, I was like about to go to sleep, and I just got a message from Alec. It was like, so this happened, and he showed me the picture that's going to be on screen. I was like, oh shit,
because I was like,
so
honestly, okay, so people who watch us weekly will have noticed that between Harold and Maude and Punch Drunk Love, there was a 2-week break. The reason for that was that it was originally going to be a 1-week late video, but I was getting it edited when it exploded, so I couldn't really finish that on time. But we're all good. It should go up, or I mean, it would have been up a week by now by the time you're watching this. But yeah, just in case people were wondering why.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I got. So, Tampopo.
Right. Yes, Tampopo. So I watched this film for the first time back in November of 2020, I think. But Alec, this was your first time watching it, so
Yes.
Well, I'm curious. What did you think of it?
I adored this movie.
Fuck yeah.
Legitimately, I can't honestly think of a thing that I don't like about it. I think it's extremely charming.
Awesome. Yeah.
I said this to my girlfriend last night. I'll have to pull up the actual like text because I can't do it justice just by talking about it. But I just said I was like it's really lighthearted and goofy, and it gives me My Neighbor Totoro vibes by how simple and like healing it is to watch. And it reminds me, this might not make a whole lot of sense on like surface value, but it kind of reminds me of a movie that I would watch when I was younger, just kind of like a nice simple little watch, like just before bed or something with my dad.
Yeah.
I was nostalgic for a movie that I definitely had never seen, which was super. It was super cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I remember when I
but yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I remember when I first watched it, I thought like, oh, this is a really good film. And then obviously I bought the Blu-ray and everything, and then yesterday for the episode I watched it again, and I was like, wait, hold on. It's actually even a bit better than I actually remembered. So I had such a good time watching it yesterday.
Honestly, okay, I think later this week, I am going to order the Criterion Blu-ray of this because I liked it that much. But
yeah, I'll be honest, like it's a nice Blu-ray.
It looks like it. I really like the packaging.
It's also got like, I'm going to show it on camera, but it's got a poster with it, and I think it might be my favorite poster that I've seen from a Criterion.
Oh, that's amazing.
Blu-ray.
I was just gonna order
pretty.
like the original theatrical poster for my bedroom. Because I found it pretty cheap. Yeah, it's a
nice
cheap.
poster. Yeah.
Yeah, but I will be setting up very soon, probably once my ceiling gets fixed. I will be setting up like an actual dedicated corner for me to, I guess, record in, so it looks visually nice instead of my air conditioner.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just to finish what I was gonna say about the Blu-ray, there's also I haven't gotten to see it yet, unfortunately, but there's a 90-minute long making of the film, which just sounds like so interesting, and I always love when Blu-rays put making ofs because they're my favorite kind of bonus, and so I'm gonna get to it at some point if I can talk, and but yeah, no, it's a great Blu-ray. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah. I'll definitely probably be ordering it sometime this week, and I'll update on if I actually did it next time. But trying to think of what else I was going to say. I guess to get into like actual details of the film that I really enjoyed. I love the opening scene with with the
in
man,
the theater.
Yeah, in the theater with the guy in the white suit and his girlfriend. Like they go in there and he's talking about like people making noise during a movie, and then there's the guy with the potato chips that he screams at. It's such a charming opening that like honestly couldn't have like primed me better for this movie. I'm gonna be honest. I think this is one of my favorite movies I've watched in a long time. Like really. Like I
honestly, same for me.
I adored almost everything about this movie, and it put me in a really good mood at the end. Like no movie has done in a while.
It's like a very, very charming and much more not necessarily more fun, but more innocent, I guess, house. Like I guess the fact that it's a Japanese film from like the mid '80s that kind of reminded me of House in a few ways. Mostly everything that made it like more goofy, I'd say.
Yeah, like a lot of the editing and sound effect choices were very reminiscent of the comedic scenes of House.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I loved that. I'm trying to think of like other little things that I just there's the scene after that where Goro and Gun, his like assistant, are driving their truck, and like he's reading the ramen book, and it's about like this ramen master and his disciple talking about the perfect way to eat ramen, which is like an expertly shot and edited scene. Like it's so interesting to just watch.
It's like, first of all, you have to apologize to the beef. It's like, what?
When I see you again. My favorite part of that entire scene is like there's all these he's going like meticulously into detail about the order to eat things, and he picks up one of the pork cutlets with his chopsticks and taps it on the bowl 3 times. And right before he puts it in his mouth, the student's like, "What's the importance of that, sensei?" And he goes, "Shake off the water." And then he just takes a bite. Like this movie is so funny. Like it's not even that it's like a true comedy in that way. It just has such a sense of humor about itself and about just how to present this lighthearted story about noodles. I love it. I feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record throughout this episode, but I loved it.
All right. Well, so if we're talking about like the goofy scenes or the funny scenes, we have to talk about it. We were gonna get to it at some point. What did you think about the 2 sex scenes?
Okay, so I was going to mention this a little later. I was very surprised because this movie could pass off like as like a not a kids movie, but like a PG film. Like you could like if you cut out
a film for everyone.
If you cut out the one scene of people have seen the movie, and Phil obviously know exactly what I'm talking about. If they cut out the one very gratuitous sex scene, I think you could show it to like just kids, and they could have a good time with it if they read, if they were good at reading subtitles, obviously. But say that they are. I think a kid could have a lot of fun with this movie. It's really entertaining. But just to talk about that for a moment. Oh, I was very surprised by all of it. Because like throughout the entire movie, there's not even that much like swearing or like any kind of there's violence in the beginning, but it's not like that bad. It's just like punching dudes or whatever.
It's
But then you get the scene between the guy in the suit and the girlfriend from the beginning of the movie in the theater of them, having sex and eating different different foods off of each other's body parts, and it's wild.
And last thing I had to mention about the Blu-ray, Criterion knew that because the shot of them like passing the egg between their mouths is the image that's on the disc.
No way.
So yeah, they knew.
That's incredible. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah.
But that scene's really weird, but I wouldn't say it's like wildly inappropriate like the sex scene. Holy crap.
I mean, the worst thing is that they do not try to hide the girl's boobs.
No.
But besides that, that's all.
It's whatever. It's like that.
Yeah,
up to that point, it's like whatever. But then there's there's already the stuff with like the beginning of the sex scene, and then there's the stuff with the I believe what are they, prawns? Like, what was that? Was that like lobster?
The oysters?
The oyster? No, not that. That scene was really good too.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah.
He activates the water or whatever and like makes them all go all crazy and then places it on her crotch. I was like, whoa. I reeled back. I was like, I was losing my mind during that scene. It was so funny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so unexpected, but I guess to piggyback off of that, it's not that I don't see why it was unnecessary. It's not that I don't see why it was necessary. I think the inclusion in the movie, it's fine. But like, there are some parts of it where I'm like, this is very odd in this very almost wholesome movie.
Yeah.
But there's like, so yeah, we kind of mentioned it in passing a little bit ago, but there is a scene where the man in the suit happens upon a girl fishing for oysters, or like trying to catch oysters, and he asks her for one. And she's like, all right. And he tries to like suck out the oyster himself, but he ends up cutting his lip and getting blood in the oyster. And she's like, here, let me help. And she gets it and puts it in her palm, and she says, let me feed it to you. And what comes after that is probably the most sensual oyster eating scene probably ever put to film. Because he slurps it up in her hand, and then I believe, don't they begin kissing after that? What
no, it's just that like he accidentally, while trying to eat the oyster, he accidentally cuts his lip.
Yeah.
And so what she does is she licks the blood of his lip, which is you probably shouldn't do that. Like,
you probably shouldn't do that, but it is a wild scene. Like it's a moment of the movie I definitely didn't expect.
Yeah, actually, I'd forgotten about this scene, and then I watched it and was like, oh, right, this happens.
But, yeah, I love those little in-between scenes. Like, this is one of them, but, like, there's the one scene that I thought was, like, extraordinarily interesting. Was it starts out on this, like, little shop, where like just a guy's sitting there doing whatever. I actually have no idea what he's doing. He's like spraying water in his mouth or something. And then a woman, an older woman, comes in and is like touching all of his food. He runs a grocery store kinda. She's like touching all the food, like squishing it with her fingers, and the guy's like chasing her around. He doesn't catch her though, and then At the end of that scene, our focus shifts from the old woman to the store owner who goes to a restaurant where he locks eyes with this old man sitting across the room. Then the focus shifts onto that old man who's trying to con some guy out of his money. He gets caught by a police officer. Then the police officer is escorting him out, and as he's escorting him out, a guy is running and bumps into them. And that guy goes home to his very sick wife, who cooks him and his children a final meal before literally dropping dead on the floor. And it's this like 15, I think it's like 10 minutes of this like chain.
Yeah, it's very short.
This chain of events that like very barely relate to each other, playing out with different parts of food. Like with this whole movie centers around food, like how it has like how like I guess like how much artistry can go into like a good dish, how much sexual energy can come from food, especially with those two that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
How much how much joy can be had with food. How much just sentimental value cooking a meal for someone has. It's kind of beautiful in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that in this movie.
One other thing that I wanted to talk about that I really like about this film is it has really good characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the characters are all very lovable. They're all very, very fun to watch on screen. It's like obviously the main characters are Tampopo and Goro, but there's also a bunch of other people who help them out. There's this guy who's like basically a homeless gourmet chef. Like those. There was this whole scene where they went to like some kind of park where there's just a bunch of homeless guys, but they're all, big fans of food and like gourmet food, and they're like one's big on ramen, another one's big on another one's been studying sake for 15 years, another one's big on wine, that kind of stuff, and it's a very strange scene that I really love.
It does have a very odd vibe to it, but I really enjoy it. There's even there's even just this kind of like fun little caper that Tampopo's son and this other homeless guy go on, where they sneak into someone's kitchen, make a rice omelet, and then leave, all while a cop is like looking for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that scene a
lot. There's also like the chef, the private chef of, I don't know what was he like. I don't know what he was, but like some important guy, I guess.
He was just like he's kind of an old man, like kind of, from what I could tell, he was like an old rich man who just liked food, and he is coincidentally at like the same ramen place that they are, and he ends up choking on his food, in which Tampopo and the gang like save him. So he treats them to some tortoise at his estate. Mm-hmm. And while they're there, he goes, "Well, I want to help you guys, but I'm old. So here's this private chef of mine that will help you create the best ramen." And so I don't mm-hmm. quite remember his name, unfortunately.
Me neither.
Yeah, but they're like, to round out, I guess, the gang. There's that guy. There's Gun, who's Goro's like kind of sidekick. Mm-hmm. I don't remember his name either, but he seems to be Tampopo's childhood friend, who's like a interior designer.
Yeah.
Who kind of spends the first bit of the film as not the antagonist, I guess, but kind of an opposing force until him and...
Well, for the first well, for the first part of the film, we don't really see him besides like the first scene,
Yeah,
where he fights where he fights Goro.
yeah. And then at some point, Goro and him set aside their differences, or just kind of become friends, and they go help
Yeah.
Tampopo. And this is where I kind of saw like a very interesting influence pop up, and I'm sure you caught the same. But I got really heavy Seven Samurai vibes from the like gathering of the gang of this movie. Like it's these experienced like ramen samurai coming to help out Tampopo create the best ramen instead of like defending a village or something. It's very like it is very Seven Samurai-ish. I liked it.
I hadn't thought about that. It makes a lot of sense.
It does. I like it a lot.
I definitely see it.
It's like as soon as I noticed that, I was like, this really is like a noodle samurai movie almost, like with cowboy like influences. Like it says on the American translated or the English translated poster of Tampopo. It says the world's first noodle western, which I think is hilarious because it's a play on spaghetti westerns, obviously, but I just think that's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that parallel was something that I noticed and I was like very happy with. I was like, oh, that's fun. I was like, that's just fun to see that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other things to say about the movie because it really is just. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just gonna not gonna take a long time to talk about this, just because I think it's kind of funny. Gun, the character of Gun, the guy who plays him is an actor named Ken Watanabe, who I don't know if you know him.
That name sounds familiar.
He's a Japanese actor who makes a lot of films now in Hollywood. Who's basically like whenever Hollywood needs a Japanese actor, they ask him. And he, for example, is the Japanese actor they used for I don't know the character's name, but the guy in Inception.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I think it was also in Batman Begins, and so he's made a bunch of films in Hollywood, but before that he was making films in Japan, such as Tampopo. And I remember when I first watched the film, I was looking at the cast and I saw him, and it was like, wait a second.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, this is really cool. Oh yeah, he was in Detective Pikachu as well.
Oh, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know who. He was just a random guy from the army. Or never mind.
Oh, he was? Okay.
I was like, did he play a Pokemon? No.
Because I remember, I have not seen Detective Pikachu since it came out.
Me neither.
So I saw it in theaters, but it's a very forgettable movie. So
yeah.
I do remember though that there's the head of the evil organization, and he's this not elderly Japanese man, but he's kind of looks kind of middle-aged, and I thought that was who that was, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, in terms of Tampopo, I'm trying to think of other, I guess, highlights to mention, because I mean, to me the whole movie was a highlight.
Hold on, let me just look at my notes. Yeah, a lot of stuff that we've already mentioned, like the influence of House. How I said how this film is really good in making people eating ramen look epic.
Yeah, that's really nice looking.
Yeah. I really like the last scene.
Yeah,
like when it's she opens up the shop, and it's everyone slowly leaves.
Goro literally
beautiful scene.
He literally rides off into the sunset like a real
Yeah.
cowboy, and it's so cool. I was like,
He's the best.
I was like, that's the best. Like
Mm-hmm.
they really made him a ramen cowboy. How
Yeah.
incredible is that? No, literally today I had classes and I was talking to I had film classes and I was talking to my other friends who are obviously into movies, and I was like, well, I'm talking because they know about the podcast. I was like, well, I'm talking with Phil tonight about this movie called Tampopo, and they were like, what's it about? And I was like, it's a Japanese movie that was inspired by westerns about a cowboy who is very much into ramen, and they're like, what was that movie again? I'm gonna write that down because they wanted to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Of course, yeah.
Um, there's a scene, I don't remember which one, but where a character compares like making cooking ramen to oh yeah, it's somewhere where Goro compares like making ramen to making movies, and it's like I'm gonna be the director, and that kind of stuff. And I thought that was like an interesting thing for a director to write. You know?
Yeah. I'm gonna be the director.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. This I feel like a lot of Japanese films isn't afraid of being kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Which I feel like it is definitely not the case in America. Like if this film like were to get a remake here, it would not work because the studios would be too afraid to do like something as goofy and as like strange, I guess, as the as Tampopo.
It's it's not that it's like lightning in a bottle, but it's definitely not something that I think can be I guess like redone in the same magical way that it already has. Tampopo is
Mm-hmm.
like already the perfect version of itself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can really only see this movie growing on me with subsequent viewings, which is odd to say because I already really like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, well, when I first saw this film, to me it was a definite uh, 4.5 out of 5.
Mm,
But
I agree.
now, after watching it a second time, I'm like, might get a tiny bit higher than that. I'm not sure if it's
Ooh,
exactly a 5 star,
ooh.
but like, it's like a 4.75
It's close.
stars.
It's close. I get it.
Yeah, it's a very high 4.5 stars.
I I guess another thing to that I was gonna mention earlier when I brought up that it gives me like my neighbor Totoro vibes is I guess I should clarify that a
Mm,
little bit more. What I mean by that is
sure.
when I when I watch a movie like My Neighbor Totoro or Tampopo, I'm brought in like by like the simpleness of it and the fact that it stays that simple throughout the entire thing, that it just and like it's not even that there's like a whole bunch of conflict in the movie because unlike like other films, it's not exactly focused on too much like conflict. It's just kind of focused on the people making some ramen, and I think it's just I think it's really like just kind of calm like that. Like it's a I would say that and Totoro are two movies that I would place in like a happy place kind of movie bin. Like like that group of movies
Yeah.
right there is the movies that I are the movies that I watch when I want to be in a good headspace. Like that is some good stuff right
Mm-hmm.
there. And it's really hard to find movies like that. But I'm really glad that we watched Tampopo because uh,
Yeah.
I think it's truly something special. And if you're at this point in the podcast and you haven't watched it, I think you have to. It's on HBO
Yeah.
Max. If you're wanting to watch it, that's how I watched it.
It's so
Is
yeah.
it? Is
It's
it on?
also on the Criterion channel.
I figured.
Yeah, it's how I watched it the first time, and just in general, I highly recommend getting the Criterion channel because you get so many good movies. But just this is just one of them.
Oh yeah, you also get like most of the movies we've talked about on this podcast. By the way, like you don't get
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure you don't get any of the ones that I've recommended, but you definitely get all the ones that Phil's recommended. I think minus Harold and Maude.
and Memories of Murder also is not
Really?
on the channel. I think. I don't think so.
I would have thought it was.
I'm pretty sure the only Bong Joon-ho film that they have is like a short film that he made between I think between like right after Memories of Murder.
Oh, okay. That's
But
fine.
yeah, Howl and Maude used to be on the channel. That's how I
Well,
first watched it.
yeah.
And they unfortunately took it off, but no, it is not. Memories of Murder is not on the Criterion channel. I
Huh.
just saw that.
I guess I was wrong.
Shame.
But if you want to watch, movies like House and Tampopo, definitely get the Criterion channel. You can also watch a lot of other good movies. I feel like this podcast,
Yeah.
at the end of its lifespan, is just going to be one big ad for the Criterion channel.
I mean, to be fair, like we met on the Criterion subreddit, so
It's
like,
true.
it kind of makes sense.
This podcast will never be like not associated with Criterion, I think.
Oh yeah. It's like if there's ever a day the like Criterion unfortunately dies, this podcast will go within.
God, I hope that day
But-
never comes.
Oh my god, that would be the worst.
Oh my god.
But yeah, just to end the Criterion channel, if you want just like a massive selection of amazing Japanese films, like this is the place to go.
Oh, for sure.
Like they've got most of the Akira Kurosawa films. They've got two films by Satoshi Kon. They don't have a lot of. I think that's basically all they have in terms of anime. They've gone like among the best. So it's fine.
What Satoshi Kon movies are on there? I know Millennium Actresses. What else is on there?
Yeah, this one is and Paprika.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And I wish there were more, but unfortunately, if you want a lot of animated films, this unfortunately is not the subscription to get.
And it's not the collection to buy into, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, like
you have.
I love.
I really think the only animated movies on Criterion, and I'm sure there's some that I'm forgetting about, are Fantastic Mr. Fox, what's the Watership Down, and Fantastic Planet. I think that's it.
Yep. I think so. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna check real quick if we're missing something.
Yeah.
I kind of hope we are, because like that's not a lot.
That's 3 movies.
3 movie out of like 1,000. Yeah, that's there's never mind. That's not a I thought it was an anime film, but it's live action. Never mind.
What movie was it?
It's Jellyfish Eyes, but I think it's like a live action film that has some like animated scenes, but like
Okay. So like three.
I
So like
don't-
3 and a
I don't know if
half.
it
We're
counts.
at 3.5.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I guess so.
That's unfortunate though. Criterion.
Yeah.
If you listen to this podcast, do a Satoshi Kon box set. I can guarantee.
Oh my god,
it
the
would be,
day
It would be like the most amazing thing.
the day the million access gets on the Criterion, I will buy the crap out of that.
Oh, of course.
Dude, what a good film.
Yeah.
But
yeah, to get back to Tampopo. Was there anything else you wanted to add to the discussion?
Yeah, there's kind of two things that are related. So after I was done watching the film, I read a few reviews that were in letterboxd. There was one that pointed out something that I thought was kind of interesting, which is how the film structure is kind of similar to Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. With like you get a main story, and in between you get a bunch of like different stories that aren't really related. And it's honestly like good job for the whoever wrote that for figuring that out. Like I wouldn't have noticed that.
Yeah. That's amazing. Kudos to that guy.
Yeah. And another thing so whenever I watch a film that I really, really like, a lot of times I'm going to go just by pure curiosity, I'm going to go on the reviews on letterboxd and go by lowest score first. Just to see, like, I love it so much. Why do other people hate it, you know?
Yeah.
And all the reviews I saw that were like half a star or 1 star were entirely literally every single one about one thing. Can you guess what that thing is?
Don't tell me.
I know you're not going to get it.
Don't tell me it was the sex scenes.
Yeah. No, it was not.
It wasn't? Okay.
It was not. I thought it was going to be that, but it wasn't. It was a very small thing of the film.
That's way too obvious. Okay, hold on. I actually don't know. Okay, what is it? What is it?
All right, it's the scene where the chef kills the turtle.
Oh, come on.
It was just a bunch of people saying like, I can't watch a film that has that kind of animal cruelty, and I was like, dude, what? Really?
Okay, I get it. All right, look, I get that it's a little much to see that kind of stuff, but like,
yeah.
I can understand when it's kind of like I not even like it's not that I'm saying that this turtle killing scene was essential, but I can understand when it's like not needed for the plot. Like in Life Aquatic, there's just this moment where Jeff Goldblum kicks a dog for no reason, and it's very odd. It doesn't really add anything to the story. So I kind of understand why some people are like, I don't like that part of Life Aquatic, and I get it, but like,
yeah,
I don't. This is gonna make me.
I mean, to the point of like,
to the point of writing off the rest of the movie. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like 5 seconds in a 2-hour-long film.
Yeah, like I love the Life Aquatic with all of my heart, but like other than that like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So I mean, I listen. I get why it might make some people uncomfortable, but I don't think it should ruin a film for you.
Yeah. But yeah, in general, like this film has like some of the best reviews I've seen on letterboxd, which is one of the reasons why I love letterboxd so much. Like the first one is 50 Shades thought they were all that with the ice cube. Pass an egg yolk between your mouth, then go back to me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I actually like most of the like reviews that put a high score to the film are reviews that make jokes about the egg yolk scene.
That's pretty
also
good.
I like this one that says the Avengers of Ramen Noodle, because why not?
That's incredible.
Yeah, so let me just look at my notes to see if I have anything else to add.
I think I saw Karsten Rundquist reviewed the movie, and I think he said graphic nudity, like with an N-O-O-D.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's funny.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I think this, unfortunately, is all I have to say about the film.
I think so as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, I enjoyed Tampopo a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so again, if you still haven't seen it, do that.
Go do that. Like now. Now
Yeah.
go do that.
Now. Like, pause the video, go either on HBO Max or Criterion Channel, watch it, and come back for the rest.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you've gotten this far to, the end of our Tampopo discussion, you don't get to, without seeing the movie, you don't get to listen to the rest of it. Go watch Tampopo.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tampopo, very good.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good.
So,
Yeah.
Phil, there's been something I've been itching to talk to you about for the past few days.
Is it Dear Evan Hansen?
It is Dear Evan Hansen.
Oh,
So,
boy.
okay.
All right. Hold on.
Okay.
I
go ahead.
just have to say, today I had the opportunity to go watch Dear Evan Hansen in theaters,
no.
and I decided, even though I really like the musical, I decided not to, just because of how shit it looked and just how bad I heard it was.
Oh, you didn't go.
So please tell me that
you didn't go.
Please tell me how right I was.
Okay, so I this is gonna be ranty, very much so, because other than the review I left on Letterboxd, there's no really other way to talk about this in an organized way. So, it was Thursday last week, and I gathered up some of my good friends, and my friend Ryan, he's a funny dude. He's on Twitter as a Core Division, but if you want to go check him out, he reviews music. But he was earlier that week, or he reviews movies as well. Earlier that week, he decided to. He asked us. He was like, "Hey, do you guys want to go see Dear Evan Hansen with me on Thursday? Opening night." And I was like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. What could possibly go wrong? Now, let me preface this. Let me preface this by saying, I have never seen the Dear Evan Hansen musical. This was my first experience with Dear Evan Hansen as a story. So we went to a screening, and it was a very interesting screening because it was paired with a making of featurette and a live Q&A from the premiere in wherever they were doing the premiere. It was just a video feed for us before the movie, but I'm glad they did it before the movie, because if it was after the movie, I would have wasted the few extra bucks I paid for the ticket and walked out. So, to get into the actual movie, I think Dear Evan Hansen might just be the most insulting and offensive movie I've seen in a very, very long time. So I guess to get into a positive I had about it, the scene where they perform the song "Sincerely Me" is pretty good. It's really well edited in some points, or I enjoy the rhythm of the editing in some points. It gives that I guess musical spectacle that the rest of the movie doesn't really have. So it really does feel like a musical number you'd see in a really good film of this kind. So I can commend them on that part. The rest of it is a goddamn mess. So obviously there is the issue of Ben Platt in this film, which I can completely see the merit in casting the original performer of the character in the film adaptation. Might I say though, I think it was a bad idea in this instant because Ben Platt is playing a teenager. He is 27 years old. He looks 40 in this film because he has like I think they made some like padding to his face or something and like did some makeup on him because
I think it was done in I think it was like some sort of filter they put in post production.
I
heard that somewhere.
That would make sense. But like the way he he walks around the entire movie with like bulging neck veins. He just looks unwell. He crouches over like obviously this is on my camera side. He kind of
looks dead.
This is he kind of looks dead. But like this is on my camera side, so you're not going to be able to see this right now, but so he kind of hunches over like this and like runs around like weirdly. He runs like the real life version of that Naruto run meme, and that's not a joke.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Oh my lord! There's the scene where I believe her name's Zoe. Is that the love interest? Is that her name?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
But she, this is all spoilers, by the way, because I don't care, and you've already seen the musical, so I'm not gonna hold anything back. So the first time he meets Zoe, he can't talk to her and runs away to go throw up in the bathroom, and he runs away like a dumbass. Is really the only way I can say it.
What? He throws up in the bathroom?
Oh, yes. So he goes like, I'm sorry, I can't talk right now. And he like turns around, is like slinks away, like runs away with like his arms at his sides. And then he goes into the bathroom to throw up. And then he tries to take one of his pills and accidentally pours them all over the floor. And okay, what I'm going to say right now, I want everybody to understand that I'm not going to get completely into myself as a person, but I would like to say that before I talk about this, I have a very personal connection to mental health as a topic, and I have had my own struggles with mental health in the past. So when I say these things, I hope that you understand. I hope that everybody out there understands that I'm not joking that much, really. So the way they portray depression and anxiety in this film is actually kind of abhorrent because Evan.
Really?
Yeah, he almost uses his depression and anxiety throughout the movie as a sort of crutch for the way that he acts, which he acts monstrously in this film. Like he makes it actually somewhat horrifying to connect with him as a character because he is just like I feel like if you can relate to Evan Hansen in this movie, you might have something wrong.
You're a sociopath.
You might have something wrong with you. Like I don't want to. Yeah, like I didn't want to come out and say it. So thank you, but yeah, you might be a bit of a sociopath because he is an absolute sociopath in this movie. And before, in the first 30 minutes, it's kind of like entertaining in a bad way. It's kind of like, okay, it's fun to sit here and make fun of this. But once you realize that the movie is taking itself completely seriously, it starts to become kind of like oh no, this isn't real, is it? But the more you watch it, the more you realize that, yeah, this is really happening. And this all kind of, I don't know, I can't, okay, so from what my friend Ryan had told me, there are songs in the musical that kind of humanize Evan and make him kind of a more remorseful person. Those are not in this film. Instead, you kind of get the sense that because what happens is, like, this is literally the last 20 minutes of the movie. I'm going to lay it out here for you right here.
Yes.
Evan goes to Connor's parents' house, the boy who committed suicide. He goes to his parents' house and basically admits the entire lie to them about how he was never friends with Connor. He explains the entire situation, and he cries during that scene. It doesn't seem like too real, but he cries. And then in the immediate scene, he apologizes on Instagram, like a YouTuber would apologize in a video, with a sigh and all. And then he goes to Connor's orchard, and then the movie's over. That is the end of Dear Evan Hansen. And might I say, it's kind of hilarious how the only two people in this movie who are open about their mental health, and people who take medicine for mental health are the two people in this movie that act the most monstrously. Obviously, there's Evan, but there's also God, I forget her name. Who's the girl who helps him out on the Connor project? She's the one.
Elena?
Yeah, her. Yeah, Elena.
Yeah.
She talks about how she takes medicine, and then literally in the next scene, she posts Connor's, what is thought to be Connor's suicide note onto Instagram, to give the project the boost it needs to finish its funding goal by that night. So literally the two worst people in this film who do the worst things are the two people who openly talk about their depression and anxiety, which is just about the most horrifying and awful thing I've seen, because it shows, I guess, such a awful standard for these movies now. I really sincerely hope that this isn't what people are going to think is a good version of portrayal of mental health, because if they do, it's just not good. It's and I think
no, it's terrible representation.
Oh, for sure. And I honestly think that Dear Evan Hansen is a 0 out of 10. I think it is one of the absolute worst movies I have ever seen. And I've only ever in my life given two movies the distinction of 0 out of 10. And that's Dear Evan Hansen and 2018's Slender Man. So those two movies are neck and neck right now.
Yeah, that.
So that is the mess that is Dear Evan Hansen, and I'm sure there is a lot of stuff I've left out, but I've met the kind of I guess points I was wanting to hit with Dear Evan Hansen. So I guess I want to hear your perspective as someone who was actually, from what you've told me, a fan of Dear Evan Hansen, right?
Well, so I'm gonna say I am familiar with the soundtrack more than the story.
Okay.
I watched half of one in the Broadway community on the internet. It's called a slime tutorial, which basically is just someone who went to the Broadway show, filmed the show, and uploaded it on YouTube, so that people don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to watch it, to go see it on Broadway.
Oh, so just like a bootleg of it.
Well, yeah, it's a bootleg.
Okay.
Because
okay.
Everyone knows that Broadway shows, tickets to a Broadway show cost way too much money, but that's another topic for another time. Oh, crazy. But I will say that I really, really like the the soundtrack, Ben Platt, in terms of like singing, he's actually one of my favorite singers. Like, I'm obsessed with his voice. I think he's a fantastic singer. He's actually got like a solo career that I really like. I think he makes great music. And also from what I saw, not only in Dear Evan Hansen, but also in another a show that he made for Netflix that was called The Politician, which I think I mentioned on another episode.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Where he actually played another character that's basically a sociopath, but in that show it's a lot more obvious, I'd say.
Right, like you're not supposed to like sympathize with that guy, right?
No, not really.
Okay.
And he gives a pretty good performance as an actor, but from what I've heard, like there's a lot of stuff. The musical, the Broadway show is a lot less offensive and a lot more like. It's not necessarily that Evan Hansen is less of an asshole and that kind of stuff, but it's more that he's being more punished for it.
Right, like he seems like a human, I guess I should say, in the Broadway version.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I will say, if given the opportunity ever in my life, like if they ever release like a real like filmed version of Dear Evan Hansen out there on streaming or
like
something.
Hamilton.
Yeah, like they did for Hamilton. I might watch it. Mm-hmm. I might watch it. But as it stands right now, I'm not going to seek out bootlegs or anything. Because I would just like to wish that I never saw this film. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad I saw it so I can keep that with me when I remember, hey, even in like writing things on my own for like scripts that I write, if I ever want to tackle mental illness, here's not how to do it.
Yeah, because like I remember when they announced, because for a while the idea of a Dear Evan Hansen movie was just like theories,
right?
The same way that it still is for a Hamilton film. But when they actually announced, like, oh, it's a thing, and Ben Platt is coming back to be in the film, I was like, fuck yeah. I was very excited about that. And then I saw when they released the first trailer and everyone started talking about it, I was like, wait, hold on. No, don't do this.
Yeah.
And then the film came out.
Yeah.
Here we are.
It's something else, man. So if you're out there looking for a movie to see this fine night, go watch Venom. I haven't seen it yet. I'm planning on seeing it this Friday.
But it looks better.
Yeah, I'm planning on seeing it this Friday as we're recording this. But just so you know, it's probably not worse.
No. It looks fine.
Yeah, I'm decently excited. Oh, speaking of, I just learned this today.
Yes.
But apparently, just like the first Venom film, Eminem is returning to the soundtrack with a new song that we can all remember, like his hit song, Venom, from the first film of Venom. Which might just be, go down in history as the best credit song ever made, because it is so.
I'm hearing some
funny.
kind of sarcasm in your voice.
Phil, why would I ever lie about Eminem? Why would I ever lie about Eminem in the soundtrack? I like Eminem, okay? I think he's fine. Yeah. But if we're talking real, that Eminem song in Venom is so awful and funny that I can really only hope that it's the same in Carnage, because I'm so excited for the movie to end and for that song to come on and for me to be whisked away into another world of crazy Eminem Venom song. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But I guess another thing I could talk or like I could mention was I did see another new film in the theater since we last talked. I saw The Card Counter with Oscar Isaac.
I do not know this film.
Yeah, it was directed, and you're going to get a real kick out of this one. It was directed by Paul Schrader. Which,
all right, okay.
If that's not ringing a bell out there to anyone, he directed, I don't know, First Reformed and Mishima. He also wrote Taxi Driver and Raging Bull.
Yeah, he did.
So, and it's produced by Martin Scorsese and stars Oscar Isaac. So, let me be the first to say, or I guess not the first to say ever, but let me break the news that The Card Counter is not a very good film at all. And it's it's not. Nothing happens in it. I literally
really.
It's like it's 2 hours long, and it felt so much longer because it's literally okay. I can break down the entire structure of the movie right here, right now. Oscar Isaac, he will spend a scene either playing poker or a type of card game. He spends literally the only time in the movie he ever counts cards is the first scene in the film. So he counts those cards and spends the rest of the movie either coming back from playing cards or talking about playing cards or hanging out with this kid who wants to kill an army general, played by Willem Dafoe. And this movie is just full of so many questionable choices for how it wants to do things. I'm not going to get into it because, like, there's just not too much to say about The Card Counter.
Yeah.
But I left kind of disappointed because I was like, I mean, this was Paul Schrader, man. Like, this is a guy who's, like, really good at things.
Yeah. You know, I think last time I went to see a film in theaters, I saw the trailer for it before the film came on, and I saw the trailer and I kind of thought, like, that looks boring, and I didn't know it was like a Paul Schrader film.
Yeah.
Well, this sucks.
Yeah, it's not been a good week for. Last week was not a good week for seeing movies. I really genuinely hope that the next couple days are going to be much better because I'm actually seeing 2 movies in a row in 2 days. Tomorrow night, I'm going to our local art house theater to go see a screening of the new 4K restoration of Tetsuo the Iron Man, which is a Japanese body horror film from I believe his name's Shinya Tsukamoto. And I'm really excited because I've been looking forward to seeing this film for a long time, and I'm really happy to actually be able to see it in a theater.
Nice.
But then, obviously the next day I'll be seeing Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which I'm also excited for. Can I just say how overjoyed I am to finally be going back to the movies again? Like it feels.
Oh my god, I know.
It feels so nice. Like for an entire year almost, because like when I started college, it was fall of 2020, and movie theaters weren't opening back up. They were kind of coming back though, and until like May of 2021. I didn't see a single movie in the theaters, and I came back and I saw A Quiet Place Part 2, and I kind of was like, okay, I'll just kind of see some movies, but now I'm back into the swing of how I was almost 2 years ago, where I would just go see movies all the time, and I'm so happy. I really hope that COVID isn't coming back something fierce, because
Yeah.
I don't want
I
this
mean,
to end.
right now I'm watching. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, right now I'm watching more. I'm watching more movies in theaters than basically than I ever did.
Yeah.
Because like I always, I never really wanted to watch movies on my own. But then after COVID, I kind of went like, I don't give a shit anymore. And so now I've been watching like, I've been to the theater 6 times this year, and I've only been once with someone else.
Really?
But yeah, but I remember the first time I went back into the theater back in June, I got in and just smelled the popcorn. I was like, oh my god, how did I go 2 years without this smell?
Dude, this is really weird almost, but like in the period of time from March of 2020 to literally like a couple weeks ago, I like fell off of even eating popcorn. I just didn't like it anymore. Like it's really almost like I lost a love for it. And then the other day when I went to go see, I don't even remember. I think it might have been Card Counter. I was sitting there and my friend Ryan got popcorn and I ate some of it and I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like, I'm back. I'm back watching movies.
You were like Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 when he got his powers back.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might be back. That's hilarious.
Since we're on this topic, I have to talk. Is like since the last time we recorded, I watched 2 films in theaters.
Ooh.
I watched first Suicide Squad, which we talked about, I think, in the Howlin' Mod episode.
We might have, yeah.
And so I thought it was I really liked it, but it wasn't like, there was a few things that I didn't really like that much about it. There was a few things that
it's not a fantastic film or anything. I think it's just really fun. That was mainly what I enjoyed.
I will say the one thing that kind of bothered me about it was the overuse of flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's like there's this scene where the squad go into 2 different parts, and you see the first part where what they're doing, and then everything stops, and then you just see 8 minutes earlier, and you're like, dude, fucking come on, did you really have to do that? Couldn't you just, like, I don't know, show a bit of the first part and then the other part and then back and forth, you know?
It does kind of interrupt the flow a little bit. I will admit.
Yeah. But then 2 days later, I went to watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Ooh, what'd you think?
And I have to say, that was really good.
It is really good, isn't it? I
really
like that movie.
I think it's like one of my favorite. It's like at least top 5 favorite MCU movie.
Ooh.
Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I just say the fact that, what's his name, the guy who's in the Wong Kar-wai films, Tony Long, yeah, the fact that he's in this is like, it makes no sense. I love it so much.
He's really good too. He's like an actually like good villain, which is not hard to do in the MCU, but they're not great at it sometimes. No.
Yeah, they can be surprisingly bad at it.
Yeah.
But like I watched this one 2 days after Suicide Squad, and when I went to watch Suicide Squad before the film, I saw a trailer for Shang-Chi, and I actually had never seen a trailer for Shang-Chi. And then I saw that and I was like, "Wait, hold on. He plays the villain?"
Yeah.
Like, I knew he was in the film, but I didn't know he was the villain.
Yeah,
I was like, this changes everything. I have to see it now.
Oh yeah.
And also, what's it? Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, I thought was really good.
He is really good. I was really surprised by Aquafina's performance.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. She was really good.
Yeah, it's not okay. I should stop saying that I'm surprised by Aquafina's performance because like I already know she can act. like she was in what was it? She was in The Farewell, which was a 2019 film that I really enjoyed. Yeah. She was like the lead in that, and she was really good. So I should stop saying I'm surprised, but I was surprised by how good she was in Shang-Chi.
It's Can I be honest?
Yes.
Until like a few months ago, I only knew her name, and until I saw that like she was in The Farewell and in Crazy Rich Asian, that kind of stuff, I thought she was just like an Instagram influencer.
That's, I mean, basically what she was. She was I think she's a rapper too.
Oh really?
I think that's what got her like fame first. I'm pretty sure.
Huh.
I remember hearing that somewhere. The first time I ever saw her was in that Ocean's 8 movie that came out of
yeah, she was in that,
back.
yeah.
And that movie was not great. And she was one of the more annoying parts of it to me. But like, I mean, everything I've seen her in since then has been really good. So maybe there's just something that was missing. But maybe not.
Yeah.
Ocean's.
Can I say? I don't know if that's
not good.
I don't know if that's.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna sound weird. I really like her voice.
I like her voice too. No, you don't. That's not weird.
She's got like kind of, yeah. She's got kind of like this smoky voice. I don't know. This, it just sounds really cool.
It does sound cool.
I like it. It does fit like the sort of like comedic sidekick voice. I do really like that instead of having like a female interest, Shang-Chi just has a platonic relationship with a girl.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really nice, and especially in superhero films, it's that kind of like big blockbuster. It's always like the guy gets the girl at the end, but in that case, no, they're just friends. You know, it's like they totally could have done that with Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Zendaya. You know.
Yeah, it's the thing with I feel like the thing with Simu Liu and Awkwafina in this movie, I think it's kind of implied in the end that they might end up together somewhat. I feel like that was an aspect of the movie.
Oh, really?
I feel like that was. I
didn't notice that.
It's been about a month since I saw it, so obviously I might be mixing some things up, but I don't know, I felt like I got that kind of vibe from it. Obviously, I could be absolutely wrong, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get any sort of vibe like that.
Okay. I feel like something was mentioned, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. Yeah.
But I was also going to bring this up in terms of movies we saw recently, or I saw, movies that we've seen recently. I saw this today, as a matter of fact. I was in one of my film classes, and we decided to, every Wednesday now, we watch just whatever movie is next on our syllabus. And today, we were taking a dip into Swedish cinema, and we watched Persona from Ingmar Bergman.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How was that?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It was something else.
It's a good film. I really like it.
It's a very good film. But I should also mention that it is it's very abstract and not for everybody.
Yes.
Which was very evident from
oh no, definitely not.
Was very evident after our screening when literally like the room was almost divided in half from people who enjoyed the film and did not enjoy the film. So it was.
I can totally see that.
It was a very interesting experience. I think it's my favorite film that we've screened in there so far. Which I can get into the other films we screened in there, which is like we watched the 400 Blows. We watched one of Peter Jackson's first films, Heavenly Creatures. We watched an Italian film called Life is Beautiful. And obviously we watched Persona. But I think Persona might be my favorite so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I really I think my favorite thing in the movie was the visuals. I think Ingmar Bergman did a really good job playing with the black and white in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen 2 films from Ingmar Bergman. I've seen that one and The Seventh Seal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because, like, based on the plot of the 2 films, I really thought that I was gonna like The Seventh Seal more, just because it seemed more like my kind of film, my type of film. But honestly, I think I preferred Persona.
And
it's not.
Would you say that you like The Seventh Seal at least?
Oh yeah. I liked it. I will say the third act of the last 30 minutes of The Seventh Seal is like amazing. It's really good, but the rest, the first hour was a bit more like it was a bit slow, maybe a bit boring for some parts, but it was interesting for sure.
Right.
Like the whole playing chess with death. Like, that's cool.
I was telling a friend of mine this when he asked, like, I guess because I told him, well, like, our school's website, which is like just some aggregate that our school has access to that just pulls movies from a lot of sources, has a lot of Criterion scans of it on there. So we watched the Criterion version of Persona, and he noticed that it was Criterion, and he's wanting to get into collecting Criterion, and he knows that I do. And so he was like, are you going to pick up the Criterion version of this? And I was like, I might wait for like the actual box set of Ingmar Bergman. Because I do eventually want to get that. It'll be a ways off.
Of course, yeah.
But I do eventually want to pick that up.
Yeah.
But I do want to...
I also have a teacher, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I also have a teacher who I know is into collecting Criterions.
Really?
It's funny because it's like... Because it's like last year I had a class with him that was on Zoom, and I saw like his shell that was in the background, and I saw, not only did I see like a few Criterions, I also saw like some Nintendo 64 games. And I was like, all right, I like you. And in the end, he's, I think, my favorite teacher I've had so far in school.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. I guess the only other Ingmar Bergman I'm going to watch before I get the box set is I'm gonna watch Scenes from a Marriage eventually,
Which version?
I'll probably watch the uncut TV version first, because isn't there like a theatrical cut of it?
There's hold on. There's like a short version and a long version.
I want to watch the long version.
But the short version is like the short version is like 3 hours long.
Well,
It's like I saw the hold on. Yeah. All right, yeah. So I'm looking it up on Letterboxd. I only have the minutes. I don't know in terms of hours, but the short version is 169 minutes. Nice.
That's nice.
And,
that's about
that's like 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah, just about. So just a little bit shy of 3 hours.
Yeah. And the other is 283 minutes, which is more like 4.5 hours or something.
That is so much. That's a
lot.
That's like, hold on. Okay, so 180 hours. How long did you say it was?
The long one?
Yeah, the long one.
4.5 hours. Oh, I think it's more like 4 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy crap.
But I think that Fanny and Alexander is worse.
Oh yeah, wasn't that his other miniseries?
Yeah. Well, the short version is 3 hour and 10 minutes. The long version is holy fucking shit. It's 4 hour and 50 minutes. It's almost 5 hours.
Jesus.
No. Never mind. It's almost 6 hours.
What?
Yeah, it's 312 minutes.
Oh no. That's insane.
It's so long.
Bergman, you madman.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
And
Oh my god. Yeah, I want to watch that. I want to watch that before the box set though, because mainly mainly because of the recent HBO adaptation of it with Oscar Isaac and Jessica and
yeah.
and Jessica Chastain, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter this week and I was like, what?
I know how vocal I've been about American remakes of foreign things. I'm actually kind of interested to see how this goes. I want to see if it's I want to see if it's good or not, because I like those two actors quite a bit. And I'm interested to see how they do.
Hold on, it was Oscar Isaac and
Jessica Chastain.
Oh, all right. Well, that's certainly is interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd see that one day.
Yeah, it's not something that like you would think you'd see all the time. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, why not?
I guess at this point, I don't know. I've been thinking about my stance on foreign remakes. Like, obviously, when it comes to like, I still think I'm still kind of against it, but like, I mean, if you're gonna do it, at least try to be good with it. It usually isn't a thing that's gonna turn out well, but you might as well try.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, for something like Train to Busan, like, just read the subtitles.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
not that doesn't
but
make
for
any
something
sense.
But Scenes from a Marriage, I feel like it's something that, even without the subtitles, it's not something that a lot of people can really get into. And maybe they're going to try to do, yeah?
I would say that, obviously, but, like, the thing about the remake of Scenes from a Marriage that kind of interests me is that it seems like it might be its own take on the Scenes from a Marriage thing. Like, obviously it might follow the same story beats, and I don't know anything about Scenes from a Marriage, so don't take my word as gospel. But it might, like, follow the same kind of story beats, but might kind of have its own outlook on it, which might be kind of cool, depending if it's good or not. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it yet, and I probably won't watch it for a while. But
Same.
But yeah, it's on my radar, and I'll probably talk about it whenever I get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of like other interesting things lately that I could bring up as topics. Do you got anything?
Oh yeah, well I watched Totoro for the first time.
Oh, you did?
Recently.
How was that?
I did, yeah. Because like I have that. Well, that's something I want to do. I want to make like a series of like movie reviews. Because like recently, Letterboxd made a new feature that's like you can go on your watch list and sort your watch list by shuffle.
Really? You can?
Yeah. If you go on, watch list, sort by, and then just shuffle.
I'm doing that right now.
And what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a series of videos where I pick a random film and I just review it. And I did that, and the film is the film that I picked was Totoro. So I'm currently in the process of writing the review.
That's so cool. This is revolutionary for my watch list.
That's such a good idea.
It's such a good idea. Why hasn't this been done already? I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Letterboxd. Okay.
So
Letterboxd is such a cool app. I hope it never dies. I want it to be around forever.
Oh man. it's also like it's got some of the best like customer service I've ever seen, especially in terms of like social media. Because like what I notice is, you know, whenever someone tries to contact a company on Twitter, they go like, hey at whatever, and then they say what I have to say. But for letterboxd, they're like, hey bestie, what's up? And then they just
I feel no shame paying for letterboxd Pro every year. No shame.
Same.
No shame. It is genuinely one of the best social media apps out there. Even in terms of, I'm not even saying even in terms of community. I'm just saying in terms of features and just everything about it is so cool.
Yeah, because like I'll be honest, to me the idea of logging every single film I've seen and just like I don't know, I just really like that, just having a catalog of all the films I've seen.
Yeah.
So when I first heard about Letterboxd, when I created my account, I just went into like the list of films of like every film they have, and I just logged every single film that I've seen, and I literally spent the 3 days where like whenever I had free time, I just went on Letterboxd. Like, all right, I've seen this, I've seen that, I've seen that, and so. To this day, I still sometimes find films that I haven't logged, but I have what a lot of other cinephiles don't have, which is I have some like an approximate and almost accurate number of how many films I've seen, which currently when we're recording this is 833. So road to 1,000. That's the thing now.
Mine is currently
I'm gonna get there.
I'm nearing 650, but the issue with mine is that I've kind of created my own headcanon that nothing I've seen before the age of 12 counts because I don't remember any of it.
All right.
I don't remember literally most of it. So like even if there's a movie that like I know I've seen as a child, but I haven't seen it since then, I won't log it until I watch it again because I'm like, I don't know what this I don't even remember what this movie's about.
I certainly didn't do that. There's definitely a lot of films. I know I've seen them.
Of course, but there's just
that's it.
With mine, there's just so much gray area when it comes to like movies I don't remember. Yeah. So I'm just like, whatever. That didn't happen. Retconned.
Yeah. Like for example, in front of me, I know I've logged the movie Smosh, like Smosh the movie. I know I've seen that. I know that I saw that when it came out. I don't remember anything from it.
You better not to remember.
I just know that it was, I just know that it was directed by Alec Winter, who's like one of the guys from Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. I this is not a proud moment for me to admit on our podcast. Mm-hmm. I have Smosh the movie on DVD.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I don't believe I have it here with me right now. I think it is at my dad's house. But but like I bought it when it came out. I bought it when the DVD came out because I remember I was a big fan of Smosh at that time. And I remember one morning on a weekend, I popped it into my Xbox 360, you know, a little, how old was I? Like maybe 13, 14-year-old me. I was like, oh boy, Smosh the movie. And then I remember coming out of it, I'm like, that wasn't very good. Even though I didn't really even have that much of a taste back then for movies. I just like, I remember coming out of it, I was like, man, that's not very good.
Yeah, looking at it, there's definitely a bunch of films. I've logged the Fred trilogy because I've not seen those, but I don't remember anything from them.
Well, I mean,
but except I don't remember anything beside what you told me in that other episode when we talked about it.
Of course, yeah. With my recent viewing of the Fred movies, I remember too much.
Yeah, but it actually has become a goal of mine to like get to 1,000 films on Letterboxd.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And based on how many films I'm currently watching, I should get there by like I think I should get there by the end of 2022.
I would think so. I hope to get there as well.
Maybe early 2023.
I'd hope to get there as well,
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
I'm not rushing things, but I do want to keep at like a steady pace of like at least 2 movies a week. Like, even if I'm not doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do. Okay. I really need to finish my Bruce Lee box set because I watched the first episode.
Yeah.
I watched the first movie in it, The Big Boss, like when I bought it, and I haven't watched any movies since, and that was like 2 months ago. And I do think though the next Criterion I have that I'm going to be watching is the Before trilogy.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. I'll just say for the Bruce Lee set, I remember a few weeks ago I saw someone on the Criterion subreddit that said like, what would you guys say is the worst film in the collection? And a lot of people mentioned a specific film from that box set, but I don't. Oh yeah, I think it was
Game of Death 2.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is not even. It's so bad that it wasn't even counted as an entry in that box set. It is literally counted.
Yeah.
It's counted as a supplement. It's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it has Game of Death as one of the entries in the in the actual box set, but in the supplement section it says a new presentation of Game of Death 2. And I was like, that was something that confused me when I bought it, because I bought it like kind of blind, like not knowing what Bruce Lee movies were in it. And I looked at it and I'm like, is there a whole other movie in this box set that's like just not advertised? which is hilarious, and I'm really
It's
I'm
yes, that is the case.
I'm really excited to see that. So I'll report back when I do.
Oh, I don't know if you knew that, but there's a like flash sale that's gonna be on the Criterion website Friday.
This Friday?
I think so.
Oh shoot!
Like this October 1st, and I saw that on the subreddit, and then I looked at my bank account and was like, "Oh,
I'm the same way.
Have to wait."
I'm the same way. No, literally.
Yeah, I mean,
the only Criterion I'm going to be buying between now and November sale is Tampopo.
right. I mean, it's like I either buy a very expensive and powerful PC, or I buy a bunch of Criterions. And for this case, I took the decision of buying a very expensive and powerful PC. And I'm very happy about it, but that also means no Criterion. So
Yeah.
that means I'm going to have to wait a few more months to get the Wong Kar-wai box set.
Equivalent exchange. But I intend. I'm honestly okay. We can probably get into like, I guess our Criterion wish lists if you wanted to.
Ooh. My I made a wish list because I made my own wish list on the Criterion website.
So did I.
And it is very long.
I think I have about 80 in mine.
I think I have a similar number. I have 67.
Okay. I'm just gonna I sorted them because I'm a nerd and I'm bored. I sorted them into like my most wanted versus like the ones that I'm like I could take or leave. Like I really want okay, my must buy section is like Citizen Kane 4K, Uncut Gems 4K, Onibaba, Akira Kurosawa's Dreams, Yojimbo Sanjuro, The Hidden Fortress, Rashomon, Breathless, Silence of the Lambs, Eraserhead, Mulholland Drive 4K, The Elephant Man, Blue Velvet, David Lynch, The Art Life, Dazed and Confused, Throwdown, Mirror, Andrei Rublev, Ivan's Childhood, Tampopo, Paths of Glory, Bamboozled, Dr. Strangelove, Barry Lyndon, Female Trouble, Polyester, The Squid and the Whale, Francis Ha, and Melvin Van Peebles box set, as well as Lone Wolf and Cub.
All right.
Oh yeah, and I also I didn't. I wanted to save this one for last because I felt like I was gonna get some weird looks if I just mentioned it in the middle of it.
All right.
But
I know.
you know what it
I
is.
know what you're gonna say.
I really
I'm pretty sure I know what you're gonna say.
I really want to get Salo.
Right there it is.
There it
there
is.
It
There's
is.
Salo. There it is. There's the one.
Dude, I'm not judging. I totally get it. I'm very curious to see it as
So
well.
like I really want to see. I want to see how it is. I'm very scared,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot that are like I have to get it.
Those are
I mean, obviously I mentioned it.
Those are just the ones that I really want to get. Yeah.
I mentioned it before, but there's the Wong Kar-wai collection because it's just like I fell in love with Wong Kar-wai this year, and I'm really excited to watch the films in this box set.
It's a really good box set. I completely recommend it.
There's two films that I thought of getting on both of the Criterion sales that I've been that I've been in. That I ended up like being like, no, I'm gonna get it at some other point, which are Brazil by Terry Gilliams, which I haven't seen, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and Eyes Without a Face, which might actually be my favorite French film.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar with this film.
I'm not. Hold on. Let me look it up and see if I've at least heard of it or seen it. Oh, I am. I've seen this poster. It's a really evocative poster.
Yeah, well, it's like a French horror film from 1960 about like this crazy scientist who like cuts people's faces, and that it's kind of a weird film, but I really like it. So I'm definitely gonna get that one. I want to get The Red Shoes.
Oh,
because that's a film that I saw recently that I really liked.
Yeah.
And I also want to get Heaven Can Wait, which is another Powell and Pressburger film that I've heard has a very similar vibe to like the Twilight Zone and that kind of stuff. And I heard that and I thought, yeah, that sounds like my type of stuff. And of course, I really want to get some more Wes Anderson.
Of course.
I mean, at some point, I'm gonna have every one of his films, but I want specifically, I really want to get Fantastic Mr. Fox and maybe The Life Aquatic.
I would definitely say, in terms of like Criterion releases of his films, I would say, honestly, I think Fantastic Mr. Fox might be the best release of one of his films in the entire collection. Because like the packaging is so cool, the booklet's nice.
Yeah,
the supplements are out of this world. It comes with an audiobook of the original Fantastic Mr. Fox novel read by Roald Dahl himself. It comes with a documentary about Roald Dahl. It's a whole like you get so much with the Fantastic Mr. Fox set. Or like the release.
Wow,
it's so cool.
Oh my god,
I love it. I love that release so much.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and Life Aquatic's release is really neat too because it comes with like some set short films that are kind of nice to see. You really can't go wrong with any of the Wes Anderson films in the collection.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And besides that, yeah, it's just a couple of more random films and like they're not really films that I really want to get, but at some point I'd like to get the Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
But I mean, of course, I like to get basically every box set. I want to get the Ingmar Bergman box set. I want to get the Agnes Varda box set. Is one that I really want.
I really want the Varda box set because like. We're not. Unfortunately in my class where we're watching movies, we're not going to be able to watch any Verda. But she did show us the trailer to Verda by Agnes, and it is it seems like such a nice movie, and I really want to watch that, but like with all the context of what came before.
Same. I also want to get an Eclipse box set because I don't have any. I feel like it would be
the only one I have is early Kurosawa, but I really want to get I like researched this one too. I really want to get the Robert Downey Sr. set. I want to get I want to get the Nikatsu Noir one a lot because that's like it's 5 movies from like I'm pretty sure it's China. Is like an Asian country though that like had a boom of noir films during a certain period.
That sounds Japanese. But maybe
it could have been Japanese. All I remember is that the set looked really cool.
That definitely is also one. I'd say the one that I really want to get is Late Ozu.
That one too.
Mostly because that's the one that I know the most about. There's like he's got like a series of films that are about the different seasons. There's like early spring, late autumn, the end of summer.
Do you know, this just popped into my head, but do you know what would be a really cool box set for Criterion to make? Especially since he passed recently. I think a Nobuhiko Obayashi set would be incredible.
I would love that because I mean they only have House.
But,
like he's made a bunch of other films.
He has, and a lot of them aren't even available in America.
No,
and that would be so cool. So
yeah,
like Satoshi Kon and Nobuhiko Obayashi are like my 2 wishes for box sets, or even just more releases. Just release. I don't even need it in a box set. Just release more Obayashi. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I definitely have to watch some of his other films.
Oh yeah,
because they seem like really cool.
I've added most of his highlights to like my watch list.
Yeah,
just to see if I can find him even. But yeah. Let's see. Should we get into next week's film?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so to get into choosing next week's episode is a very interesting thing because I'm sure you've noticed, everyone that is listening, that this month is the spooky month of October.
Woo.
And since this episode will more than likely be coming out on the 8th of October, that means that we have 3 episodes, right? Am I right? The three episodes during that the rest of October?
Yep. The 15th, 22nd, and 29th.
Okay. That's very, very intriguing because Phil and I have been discussing how we want to handle this spooky month. And so we've decided to keep it going like normal, where we take turns recommending movies, but we're going to do it with a spooky theme. So
yep.
I am saving my big guns for the last film that I'll be recommending, and I'm sure people who can refer back to my my favorite movies list can probably guess what it's going to be. But since it is my turn to recommend next week's film, I am going to select it from a list of my favorite horror themed movies, and I have chosen that next week's film is going to be the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh man,
so much.
I was literally before we chose, I was looking through the list of horror movies that I love, and I was like, what could work? And I know recently my girlfriend's never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, and she was like, and her parents love that movie, and so we were talking about it, and they're like, I want you to show her Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I'm like, oh yeah, definitely. But like I was looking through and I went, this is perfect, because I have not seen Rocky Horror Picture Show since I first saw it when I was I believe 16.
Yeah.
So this is going to be really interesting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you know, I've already established that I'm a big fan of musicals, so
yeah.
it shouldn't be a surprise that I'm a big fan of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it's like, this movie's so great. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I think, didn't you want to recommend this one as well at some point?
Yeah, it was on my list of recommended films, so I'm just gonna delete it.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm so excited now.
All right. Yeah.
So yeah, next week
All
is
right.
the beginning of our 3-week Movie Dudes Halloween specials.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess that's it for this episode. So
yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Movie Dudes. If you liked it, you can like, comment, subscribe. You can also subscribe to our own channels, and you can also follow us on Twitter and letterboxd. Links are going to be in the description. And I'm also on Twitch. And yeah, so thanks again. And also Spotify now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week to talk about the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
All right, yeah,
Bye.
for sure. Bye.